Hello. Oh shit, I'm alive. I think I'm live. Let me double check. Double check. Is there anybody there? Check. I'll stay for a few minutes. See if there's anybody there. I'll stay for a few minutes. Hey, I see two people watching. See if there's anybody
Look what's
there.
up.
Hello. I'll stay for a few minutes. Hey, I see two people watching. Wait,
What's up?
Turn the volume.
Hello.
Stylist. No. Latte Styles. Craig, Accurate, Anthony Clark. Hello. Lee Salzman. Hola. ¿Qué tal? ¿Cómo estás? Bienvenue. Welcome in. Oh, okay. There's an echo. Oh, okay. I think I know why. Is that better? I think that's better. Oh, that was awful. Yeah, I was starting to hear it too. I was trying to figure it out. What do you guys want to talk about? Do you want to ask me questions? I like answering questions. I would love to have a call in the future. I don't even know how to do that. I think I have to get like some software or something. Do you see Jesse still lying? Yeah, dude it. Yeah, I am. Let me see. Northam. Dude at Northam. Oh, okay, the governor. Yeah, that's just that's, oh God, it just shows what hypocrites the leftists are. I can see you and see you, girl. And it shows, I was gonna drink that. It just shows what hypocrites the leftists are, because if that was somebody that was on the right or anything but a leftist, people would be, hey Tony, people would be like tripping. They would be, they would have like shut the city down. There would have been riots. People would have been like, yeah. Are you in Virginia, Anthony? Are you in Virginia? So going back to Northam, I don't I really don't even care. Like, I don't get offended easily. I mean, I'm not even offended by that, but I'm just offended by the fact that it's just a double standard, because if it was on the other side, then all hell would have broken loose. But I mean, I'm not surprised, because of course Democrats are associated with the Ku Klux Klan. But I also, I would like to think, that was a long time ago, and maybe he is a different person. Maybe he's better. Maybe he's not racist. And just to be honest, everybody says racist shit, like, all the time. People are so full of it. They don't act like they've never said anything bad about a person of another race. I have. Like, I mean, and jokingly, not vindictively. It would, I mean, it's one thing to like dress up in blackface or as a Klan member, but it's another thing to actually go out and kill people, So maybe he was in the Klan. As from what I know, a little that I know about the Klan, I know that I never thought of doing blackface when I was 25. Yeah, but people like stretch their eyes like Chinese people. They do say, people just say and do stuff like I don't know, like, people dress up as women in sorority and fraternities. They all do all kinds of crazy stuff, when they're in that college life or whatever. I just, I mean, I never thought about doing blackface either, or whiteface, but I mean, people just do silly stuff when they're younger. So I mean, I don't, you can do blackface, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're a murderer. So, I mean, I don't know. Polish jokes were the best jokes in the day. See, people, I mean, we can't even, I mean, I don't even know what the situation is. He apologized for it, and then he retracted and said he didn't do it. It's insane. But I think that hopefully he's definitely lost Black support there. And, the fact that I guess he was calling Trump a racist was the was just they can't find anything on Trump to that degree. They have to make stuff up. Even Omarosa with her her supposed book that, see, she says she has a tape of him saying the N-word, So, but that never surfaced. She should get sued for libel. So many people need to get sued for libel. You had a Polish teacher that said Polish jokes every day. I know, like, Polish people, they're supposed to be stupid. That's like the joke. That's the stereotype, right? Is they're dumb. But I've known some really smart Polish people. Your wife was Aunt Jemima. That's really good. That's like the best. No, Log Cabin's. It's second best. Second best syrup. Do you concentrate? Wait. Be a mayor in the city. Have a spike in violence and murders in the area of the city. Do you concentrate on the police until the police back off? Concentrate on the crime area? I don't know. Do you concentrate police crime area or tell the police to back off? I think number one, MPC hashtag or a pound sign or was it an Octothorpe? No, forgot 8607. Anyway, yeah. What do you guys think about the northern thing? Was anybody offended by that? I think my listeners will get offended. I mean, my subscribers don't get offended easily, though. Do they get offended? Anybody get offended? Do you think he should resign? Not really. What do you think of? Oh yeah, I did a video of it. It was great. I needed to get up early, and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna just watch a little bit of it, and then I'm gonna go to bed, and then I watched the whole thing. I stayed up for an hour and a half. I was supposed to be asleep probably 15 minutes before it started. So it was really good. It was I like the fact that he talked about he's going to try and like tackle that abortion bill. I liked the fact, I really thought it was unifying. Some of the I love the fact that he was like, America's never going to be a socialist country. If I could have done a backflip, I would have done a backflip. I was so like, I was like, yeah. Oh, and then something else he said about about like imaginary, I'm paraphrasing, but it was like imaginary like investigation, something to that effect. He said it very like passive aggressively, but it was very true. Like imagined anyway, just referring to the whole Russia collusion thing. It was good. I mean, I think we're gonna get the wall. We'll just see. Oh, when is the 15th? When is D-Day? What is today? 9. So 9, we have 6 more days. Do any of you guys live by the border? I'm curious to know. I'm gonna drink some water. I think this lighting's better. I was trying to sit at my desk, but I have to use a big old light, and I hate that light. It gives me a headache. I hate those fluorescent lights. Do you have any issues? How do you light styles? Oh, I think that's how I'm saying your name. You live by the border. The DNC is that actually and not pretend ones like, yeah, it's true, very true. No, but only by boat in Florida. LED lights suck, yeah. He should have schooled them on the ridge having fins. He said that. He said that. I remember him saying that in his speech. He was talking about, the hypocrisy. He weaved all that in. I don't think he missed a beat. Like he did say, these people that want to preach what it's like to live, or they want open borders, yet they live in places where they have walls and armed security. America's already a partial socialist country. Well, it's not going to be fully. We're gonna turn it back around. Robert Byrd, yes. Hillary Clinton. That was Hillary Clinton's mentor, Robert Byrd. He was a real Klan member. He didn't he didn't make a have a picture goofing around with his buddies. He was a Cyclops, which means he was not too far under the Grand Wizard, and it's not like he was like a low-level clan person. Member. He was a Cyclops, which means he probably didn't do any low-level killing and stuff. He probably, unless he did it when he worked his way up. But they leave that, I think, to the low-level guys. Unless they're doing, I don't know. I mean, I just know a little bit about the KKK, but I know Cyclops. I think the Grand Wizard is the highest, and then there are a few steps under him, and then like a Cyclops. And I think that's that area. When I looked it up, like they recruit people, and so he was in deep. He wasn't even like, oh, I'm gonna just play around with the clan. He was in deep. So you live by the Canadian border. Light Styles, are there a lot of people coming in by the Canadian border? Hello, what do you think of this new late-term law for late-term abortion up to 9 months? It's demonic. I'm actually I've been working all day. That was dark COVID. I'm working on another little mini movie talking about it, and have been researching so much that I have so much to talk. There's so many angles on it. And I decided to just kind of focus on the profit side of abortion. So hopefully that video will be out next week. But I mean, there's so much. I went, which was fascinating and also just very devastating. I went through a lot of footage on abortion. I mean, I've looked at women that have been raped. I saw a really graphic account of a woman that was raped and got pregnant by her rapist, and she just decided to keep the baby. I saw another an account of a woman who actually was an aborted baby and she survived. So that was really fascinating. I've been watching a lot of live action stuff, Save the Storks, Shout Your Abortion. I mean, there's a lot. This is a lot. But so I had to narrow it down because I'm trying not to keep these little mini movies. I'm doing more than 10 minutes, 10 minutes at the most. I'm really hoping for 5 to 7, just so I can get people little bite sizes of information. Let me see. I live at hello. Okay, so yeah, it's terrible, but I made a commentary on it. And then I'm also making a little Mooney movie talking about abortion, but the profit side, because I also think, I think it's bad, but that's an understatement. I think that there's a profit motive, and then if you go deeper, if you want to go darker down the rabbit hole, if I didn't believe it, and I know if some of you guys think I'm crazy for saying this, but I really do think that there's like a satanic anti-human agenda with this stuff. The more and more I look into it, it just seems like there's no other explanation. And especially now, since they have that startup, I don't know if you guys know about that startup called Ambrosia, that it was in Silicon Valley. Somebody told me there's one in Texas. They make money off of, or they ask younger people basically to go and donate their blood so they can feed it into older people. Well, there was a mouse study that was done a few years ago before that this opened. So they started on mice and now they're going to humans. But, the elites have been known to drink blood, so I also think they're not only doing medical stuff with these babies, they're probably doing more sinister stuff, especially, they use them in flavor enhancers, in vaccines, in cosmetics, and the thing about like the flavor enhancers, what gets me is like all these spices all around the world, there are millions of different ways to flavor food. Why are you going to use, so what they do, I know I'm probably going over some of your heads, they use these, they use kidney cells from aborted fetuses as flavor enhancers. They're called, you guys should look this up. So they're called HEK, HEK 293 cells. Syntomix is a company that makes them. And they use them as flavor enhancers for food. Why do they need to do that? Why do they need to use flavor enhancers? Why do they need to use those type of cells? It's just really bizarre. Going on a tangent. What's up? What's going on with the new Green Deal? I haven't read. Thank you, Nashte. Sorry, I'm like my eyes. Thank you, Nashte. Let me see. Oh, you did? Okay, I'm gonna check it out, Tony. You made a video. Tony Patriot made a video on abortion. I live in Chile, Wisconsin. Oh, God bless you, Craig. I'm like, it's been 33 degrees here in Austin. It was hailing. It hailed yesterday. It's the first time I'm sorry. It's like the fifth time I've ever seen hail in my life. And I'm like, it's Armageddon. I can't take it. I'm such a wimp. I'm from LA. So, I mean, if there's anything under 69 degrees, I'm like, turn the heater on. A Democrat and a governor now thinking to moving to Florida. Wyoming might be conservative too, but Florida sounds warmer. Yeah, go to Florida. Florida's nice. Plus, it's closer to Cuba and other islands. But they have snakes, they have flying roaches, they have alligators, they have thunderstorms. So they have hurricanes. I don't know, but I'd still even with that, I'd still move to Florida over with Wyoming. But Wyoming's close to. No, but the Yellowstone's in Wyoming. I heard it's beautiful, and maybe Wyoming's not so bad. I was thinking of Wisconsin. Wow, your son was born 23 weeks gestation, second trimester. He's 3 years old. Wow. So, Don, what made you change your mind? I mean, you just said that made you change your mind. Thank you, Lee. Thank you, Lee. Let me see, Don. What made you change your mind? Did you think that it was just a clump of cells, and that you saw that a baby that small can live outside of the body? Is that what changed your mind? I think, you know what it is? I think Dark Coven, I'm pro-life. It seems evil to me, kill the baby. I think they're honestly, and I would have to admit, I kind of had that too. I always knew that it was kind of killing the baby, but I think, it is killing the baby, but I think there's a huge disconnect with people that think that they when they picture abortion, they just picture like cells, and you're just going in and squashing the cells, and that's it. I honestly think that. I think a lot of people think that. I've also been watching a lot of videos where Live Action would go out, and if you guys don't know, they're pro-life group. They do a lot of good work. They're really smart, and so is Save the Storks. Very, very, very like common sense, nonviolent, clever way of what am I trying to say? Of getting people to think about abortion. But they'll go out and they'll talk to people on the street, and then they'll show them a video of abortion and what it's like. And they've had some people that have like changed their mind, and they've said, oh wow, like I didn't know that it was this bad. I didn't know there's this graphic. I didn't know that babies had feelings. I didn't know, like, we're just being that's the thing too. If you have to hide information, I think I saw this headline, but I didn't watch the whole video. I think it was Officer Sweet Truck, and he was like, if you have to hide but the headline said like something like, if you have to hide information, then you need to think about changing your stance. Because I just think that a lot of people, we've been brainwashed. We've all, include myself, like everybody, and I think when people hear the word, oh, brainwashed, that means that you're stupid. But I don't think people that are brainwashed are stupid. They're just very trusting. They're very trusting. And, and if you're not evil, which most people aren't, you're not going to be thinking on that level to do stuff like that. You're going to think that the people that you trust that are in powers, that are in positions of authority, and they're experts, that they're going to have your best interest in mind. And I think a lot of this information is what do you call it, compartmentalized. But it's just like the pyramid, right? I know it's such a very elementary, overused example, but it's the best way for me, I think, to describe like how information is disseminated. You have people that are at the top, and then the further you get down the bottom of the pyramid, less people really understand what's going on. And then you get a tier up, and then people understand some of it, and then the next tier people understand more and a little more, and then you get to the very top, where the people at the very top really, you know, like the scientists that are probably making the hex cells, they probably don't really, you know, they've just been brainwashed, and they're just like, oh, these are hex cells, we're making progress, we're scientists, this is great, you know. And I really do believe too, when you're going through things like, and I like science, and I mean, I love science, I love medicine, but I also think that you're kind of brainwashed in school to think that you're better than other people and smarter. And then B, like you're really pushed into your left logical thinking side of the brain. You know, you're desensitized because you're always cutting up, you know, rats and frogs and mice and stuff. You kind of desensitized to all of that, and you're not making this whole brain connection, you know. My ex had an abortion on a planned pregnancy. Oh wow. Going off the beat dim, and I broke it down after that. Babies in her food regime. Yeah, I'm actually going to talk about that, but in the next video. I hate came out as he was a baby meme. Oh wow. Tulsi Gabbard. I haven't really looked into Tulsi Gabbard. She seems a little bit, just a little bit from what I've seen, she seems a little bit more sensical than the other people. But I mean, I have no trust for the Democratic Party. It's like a boyfriend that cheats on you all the time, and then, you know, you're gonna ever trust him again? You know, and we've been betrayed a lot by the Democratic Party, like a lot. Hi, Noam, all the way from the Caribbean. Hello. Oh, what's the difference? Oh, Ty. Ty's cooking with Audrey. What's the difference, Ty? I'm from LA. I'm like, it's hell. What, is hell just bigger? Sleet is between, is it like between snow and hail? Is it like the middle ground? Do you believe in abortion in any kind of case? Not anymore. But I also have known a lot of people that have had abortions, and I'm not into shaming people about abortions and making them feel bad that they've done it either, though. I'm trying to get people to think more when I talk about it now, like what the effect is on society, on the women, you know. And the more that I've found that too, all my friends that I know that have had abortions, they always say that it you know, has messed them up psychologically. They still have issues with depression and stuff because of it. And you can also have physical issues. I mean, you know, you can say it's a religious thing too, but which it is. I think there is definitely a spiritual consequence to doing it. But I think also people are just that are hardcore about it. They're so into the mindset of it. Oh, only Christians think that abortion is bad, that I try. To me, it's not even a religious argument. To me, actually, it's a moral argument. But I know that, you know, do you guys know the lady, I don't know her first name, Senator Tran, that had that abortion bill in Virginia? Like also has another bill to save cankerworms. You can't make this up. Like, truth is stranger than fiction. So she cares more about cankerworms than she does about babies. You know, you guys should like look that up. I was on Facebook trying to convince the Dems. Hold on. About abortion, most Black, it was hard. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. They're not, you know, and I think a lot of Delon, I think I'm being stereotypical because I don't like to speak for the Black race and Black people, but just from my experience and Black people that I know and Black family members, I think we've been brainwashed into like this void of self-hate, number one. Number two, you don't really see a lot of pro-life advocates that are Black. And a lot of Black people too are brainwashed into not believing something or doing something unless they see a lot of other Black people doing it, you know, or somebody that they respect. If like a rapper came out that they respect, like Tupac came back from the dead and start talking about it, like, you know, I think more Black people would listen. I don't know how to get through on that. And you know, it's in the neighborhood. It's the culture. People, a lot of people use abortion for birth control. Just trying to read. And I don't know. There's a show. It's a good thing. Only thing can do. It would be hard to describe how delusional Blacks are about school testing and grades. I know. Science. Well, I mean, you know what it is? Cuban B. Science is for arrogance of man. This is what it is. There's different branches of science. Nature is science. Biology is science, right? But they're using the physical science to overtake the biological science. Because, like, we have an immune system. We have our body works. You know, it's like it is like it's they're basically, I think I said it right. They're using the physical sciences to overtake the biological science. We build in contrast with nature instead of with nature, right? We're like, this is just how it is. It doesn't have to be that way. I think both types of science can live in harmony, but we're doing a lot of things to ourselves, to the earth, using ways that make us more dependent and empowered. And that's why science is bad. But I think a lot of people too, they've replaced science with God, and they're trying to play God. So I think maybe that's what you're more talking about, right? No. So they form into ice. They would get rid of Tulsi too. Does any of you guys like Tulsi Gabbard? I consider Christians to keep the faith. The devil's working. Yeah, Sleet is like frozen. So then what is hell? Is hell just bigger? Yeah, New York is wrong. Hell is like rocks. Have you been? I have not been to Toronto. It's on my bucket list. Yepers. I used to work for a company that was located next to. I would see processes out of the time, but I began to notice they would really go in on white patients. That's the way to deal with anyone with love. I also have friends who've had abortions, and you're correct, it does have an emotional effect. Yeah, I mean, I don't, because they don't, you know, people that do that stuff, they have abortions. I mean, they already feel bad about it. And it hurts from what I understand too. So they're going through physical and emotional pain. And they're all also physical complications. So yeah, I mean, yeah. But they kind of ignore Black and Latino patients. Maybe that, I mean, I don't know. Yeah, it could be. Mother wants to abort late, cheap for condom. Oh shoot, I'm trying to TT. Oh, cool. Yeah, you know, the affirmative action. The affirmative action video you saw. Yeah, when I yeah, it's true. Are you Asian or are you mixed Chicago, or did you have 78? I'm sorry. I'm like, I don't want to like look like a freak and be all up in the camera trying to read, get your names right, but let me see. Are you Asian, or did you feel that you were discriminated against with because of affirmative action mixed Chicago? Or I don't know if it's 78. Yeah, abortion, especially if, the thing about abortion too, I never really thought about, and I think women just don't think about that how men are affected. Because I think we have this, I think men and women are wired differently, where men, all the guy friends I've had, they talk about like the urge to have sex. It's like this hunger that you can't like replace. It's just like, even though women have that, so we have that too. We have desires, but for men, I don't know, y'all are just wired differently. But I think a lot of people think, or especially women think, because men are like that, that they can just knock people up and get pregnant and not care. But they naturally have no emotional attachment to a woman that they get pregnant, if that makes sense. I'm not saying it's true, but I think that that's what a lot of people think. So when I start like listening to guys and knowing men that, their partner had an abortion, and without telling them, and how devastated they were, it just kind of blew my mind a little bit, because you're just like, oh, like, I think that's another thing too. Like, I think a lot of people think that men just don't care, and that's okay. I mean, I don't think it's okay, but I'm saying like that's the train of thought of a lot of people. And I was talking to my friend the other day, and we're like, oh, I wonder if they can, we were talking about how would they be able to turn Roe versus Wade? Can they do that? And I don't think they can just like overturn it, but we were saying there needs to be some kind of case that would have to go to the Supreme Court, where like a man would have to like a man would have to prove that he's affected or something, that we're just, kind of wargaming, but affected to the point where like they'd have to, in order to get an abortion, you'd have to have the consent of the father or something like that. How would they do that? I don't know. Can they just, make it illegal again? I don't know if it would be that easy, So we were just kind of wargaming situations of how to make it better, make it, lessen it, or, I don't know. Chinese American. Oh, you're at ABC, Mix Chicago. Yeah, man, you guys, and I know I'm being stereotypical, but I mean, first half of my life, I grew up around Asians, and I lived in Asia for 2 years, and I have a affinity for the Asians and Latino people, because I grew up around, anyway. So yeah, my Asian friends, they would be going to school on Saturday, and maybe on Sunday they sleep. Like if you were doing something on Saturday, your friend, they were at like school on Saturday, working extra hard. And then when I became a teacher and I taught my kids, my kids were Asian, they worked their butts off. And I was just livid when I found out that they get points taken off. And this is for the UC system. So in California, that's like the college system there. It's like UCLA, UC Santa Barbara, UC Davis. I know specifically for the UC system, I found out that they got points taken off of their SAT because they're Asian. I was livid. Because I know how hard they work, and I know that Asians they're not smart because they're smart. I mean, because they're Asian. They work their ass off. They have the community support, from my observation, my experience, to help facilitate the learning process, They don't clean out all the way. Hi, hello, Jeff. I think the elites use stem cells and other products. Yeah, they do. Oh, I was a stem cell. So I was looking at this. I was looking at this video on stem cells, and there's a lady that I follow. She's a scientist. Her name is Teresa Deisher, and she has actually done research about stem cells. She discovered heart stem cells. And she also, but I start following her before I even knew this, because she did a study about the aborted fetal cells in vaccines and how they're integrating into our DNA, and not in a good way. In addition to that, she's also done work on stem cells, and she was saying that that adult stem cells are actually more viable and better embryonic stem cells, because the embryonic stem cells, they grow sporadically and they tend to be tumorigenic, meaning they can cause cancers and tumors, whether they're benign or cancerous, but they can cause, tumors. Whereas adult stem cells are better, because there are people that, they argue, they're like, oh, well, what about, people that are paralyzed or people that have brain diseases and stuff? Can't we use stem cells for that? I mean, to be honest, I think it still is a form of cannibalism, and I never thought I would say that. But if I had somebody that I love, or even myself, and I feel like that was the only way that I can walk again or do whatever I needed to do again, I might take that route. But at least if it's an adult and they're donating it, they have they're making the choice to do that. I'm not taking a part of something that didn't really have a choice in the matter, if that makes sense. But I had these, and I'm saying I thought I'd never say that, because I had two aunts when I was growing up. They were three of my great aunts were RNs, and I remember them having a conversation when I was a kid, like talking about this stuff and how they thought it was cannibalism, and I thought they were crazy, and I didn't care about this stuff at the time. And I mean, they were like my grandmother's sisters, so they were old as my grandmother, or older. And at the time, I just wish I had the passion and the lust for, curiosity about that I do now, because I would have asked them more questions. I was just like, okay, whatever, But they'd seen a lot of stuff. They made a lot of observations in their years of being RNs and with medicine and stuff. And this is a conversation that they were having. And based on their opinions and their experiences, and that's, if I have a regret in life, that's that. I wish I would have asked them more questions and kind of dug deeper. Anyway, I'm trying to go through this list. Yeah, they say it was affected. She didn't care, actually. Wow. I guess some of you guys are talking to each other, but that's fine. I'm trying to tissue and love. What about the fetal tissue and food? I'm actually, the video I'm making next week, I'm gonna talk a little bit about that. But if you want to research yourself, they're called HEK293 cells, and Cytomix makes them, and they're flavor enhancers. So it's made from the kidney tissue, the kidney cells of aborted fetuses, and it makes your food taste better. And I knew about that stuff. Oh, hey, Narnar, my best friend. Oh, now I'm all nervous. He's gonna clown me. What's up, Narnar? I'm so proud of you. I'm calling you Nar. I don't know. I just made that nickname up for you, but Narnar, he's actually been my mentor, and he's helping me. He's the one I send the video to, and then he rips me apart. And I cry because I feel worthless, because he's an amazing editor and artist. But I'm just kidding. I love you, man. I lost my train of thought because I saw. Hey, MA39, thank you. If this flies, people would get pregnant on purpose. I think I answered about the fetal tissues. Yeah, but I'm working on that next week. But you can do it yourself. And usually what they'll say, like, you'll find stuff that talks about it, right? And then you'll find stuff that says that's not true. Snopes says fact checked. Like, our aborted, fetal tissue, really, is it being used in food? That's a lie, and that's a conspiracy theory. But you just have to read between the lines. So you can go to Cytomix, and you can maybe find out what flavor enhancers are and the name of the cells, and look up the cells, and then look up where the cells come from. And usually what the fact-checking, websites that are meant to roadblock the truth seekers say is they'll say something like, oh, well, they were taken from an aborted fetal cell, but they're not really aborted fetal cells. I'm like, well, what point in time do they stop becoming aborted fetal cell? Does bacon stop becoming a pork because it was taken from a pig? So they're gonna try and mind fucking gaslight people that are really trying to look out for this. But you guys are smart. You're figure it out. And I just found out, not that I just found out they're using Lay's chips, and I was just like, I love Lay's chips and Dasani water. I was like devastated because I don't drink sodas. I don't drink a lot of most of the stuff that they mentioned, but I was just like, I'm like, oh wow, I can't even cheat with eating Lay's again. Let me see. Sick. You are the chosen. What? Oh, that's nice. It made 39, but I'm not the chosen one. That's a lot of pressure, dude. That's a lot of trust. That's a lot of pressure, but I appreciate the compliment. That's nice. I don't want that. I want people to know the truth. I think if people did, we'd have a better society. And I'm glad that, you know, a lot of people, rag on AJ, but Alex Jones, but honestly, I learned a lot from his show. And We Are Change, James Corbett, what's his face? Oh God, Richard Grove, all these people I used to watch like back in the day. And I wish that, or I'm really grateful for them. And, it's definitely enlightened my life, and it's made me pursue my health, and, it's made me feel like I've had, I don't know. I'm just grateful for the knowledge. I think knowledge is power. I feel empowered by it. I think of when you first start learning about a lot of this stuff, you feel it's depressing. It's like the Kubler-Ross stages of death, right? There's like denial, anger, bargaining. There's no more, but then there's acceptance. And then when you get to acceptance, you get to the other side of it. You're very, you seem empowered. I think the frustrating thing is when you're trying to like, hey, Justin Wilson. I think the most frustrating thing is when you want to pass this knowledge along to people and they're not willing to accept it. So my thing is just, I just try and put it out there. And there's some people I'm sure that watch the channel and they're like, oh, I like her with this, but when she talks about this, she's crazy. I think if they're true truth seekers, they will find their way back, because I know that's how I was. I remember it was going back to AJ. I know a lot of people rag on him, and I can see why. Like, some of his criticism is well deserved, but I think, whether you think he's controlled opposition or whatever, you have to admit a lot of the stuff he said on his show was right. A lot of, I really wish he would do like the long interviews, or he would interview people. He had interesting people on his show, and then I would look them up. And I would read their books, and I would, follow where they got their information. And when April and I had our podcast, we actually got some of them from, and interviewed them ourselves. So it was really great. And then we've made friends and connections through that way. It's been really a blessing. It's one of the best things I've done in my life. Thank you. I don't see who Europa. Okay. 10-part documentary. Is it 10 hours? If it's been deleted, you need to get some, I hope you have some software and made a copy of it, because they're about to do that too. I've been going around on YouTube, and I've been making copies of videos that I think are about to be deleted, because what they're doing, they're trying to weigh out the conservatives, the truth seekers, anybody that's, like putting a wrench in their agenda. They're weeding us out. They're, demonetizing my videos and striking me and stuff. And, knock on wood, I hope I might get in a strike for the abortion video that I'm making. I made a little warning sign though, that shows, that says it's graphic. So we'll see. But, a lot of conspiracy theories on Coast to Coast are accepted now. You mean the Radio Victor? I thought he always talked about conspiracy theories. Is that George Norrie? Is that what you're talking about? He goes deep, man. He talks about aliens. I don't know a lot about aliens. But I believe aliens exist. You know, I think it's arrogant to think that they don't exist. Trying to. I was angry after learning about the Holodomor and how it was skipped through the entire education. I don't even know what the Holodomor is. I have to look that up. Yeah, I mean, it's you. But the thing about going on another tangent, but kind of going back to knowledge and power information, the thing you have to realize is that people are gonna wake up on their own time. You really can't wake people up. You know, all you can do is give them the information, be honest about your experience, and hope that they have the will, hope that they have the will or the courage or whatever it you know, to actually go research what you're talking about. But I think a lot of people have to have a hard wake up call before you know, before they accept this stuff, because a lot of this stuff is just unbelievable. Yeah, I'll check it out. I just don't know when I'll be able to watch it because I'm so busy. I would like to even you know, set the what do you call it, the live streams I do, but I don't know when I'm gonna have time. I might try and do one tomorrow night too before I would go to bed, but I have to get up early in the morning. Very famously, let me see everything. Oh, that's true. Thank you, Tommy. You still have to research it yourself. You still have to research it because I can make mistakes, or you know, or we just might have different world. Like, who knows, you know? No, no. I was talking to that about Zach, my friend Zach, the other a few weeks ago. We were talking about like how, you know, the Japanese killed a lot of Chinese people. The thing about history is just weird. They set it up like black people are the only people that went through slavery, and Jewish people are the only people that went through a Holocaust, and they conveniently leave out that this is a phenomenon that has gone, you know, that has happened all over the world, just so they can, you know, play their divide and conquer with race. Oh wow. Have you guys heard about the Alex Jones Joe Rogan feud? I just found out about that, but I can't. Hey, Mr. Spassaway, big hugs to you too. Let me see. The president negotiated for sanctions that got Japanese. Promise not to prosecute Japanese war crimes. Oh, I don't know. Good night, Dark Colvin. Live discretion. Sorry, I'm not super planned for this. I just want to just rap and answer questions and stuff. I hope that's okay. This one guy was like, yeah, I'm not a fan of your live streams, but I still like you. I'm like, all right, that's cool. I get it, you know, but it's not, I just, this is the best that I can do with connecting, trying to keep a connection with people. What? The FBI put tape on Roger's camera. They were with CNN camera and cameraman. Of course, like CNN is CIA News Network. What are you talking about? I know. I love when leave people live stream too. I'm just trying to do as much as I can and just with some of the stuff that videos I'm making, I'm just afraid that I'm not going to be able to, I don't do it soon. Not that I'm trying to be a Debbie Downer. I'm just I didn't take advantage of it as much before. And I was like, well, I should have taken advantage of it when I could have. And then when I couldn't, then I'm like, dang, I want to live stream. And I'd see other people live stream. It's like, I'm on YouTube. I'm in YouTube jail and stuff, on YouTube punishment. George Norton. Yeah, he seems cool. I haven't listened to a lot of his stuff, but I don't understand the point of having it if you're just gonna talk to yourself and not interact with your viewers. Yeah, you know what though? I think is one of the reasons I start the channel, start the podcast with my friends. I think also too, when you start coming into a lot of this information, you just get you just want to know that you're not crazy, and you want to find other people that are thinking on the same train, like have on the same level or want to get to the same level as you want to get to. And then you just need to like vent. I think it's kind of healthy, you want to vent, you want to get stuff out, you don't want to be the new collard green deal. Oh no. You know what? Yeah, I don't know. I just, I think that's a thing too. It's good. It's good to do that, to vent and talk it out instead of holding it in. I think it's unhealthy to keep a lot of this in. I think you go through a lot of anger. When I lost a lot of friends, and I didn't think I was going to lose. And I'm glad that I had my best friend, and then I met other friends, other people come into your life. Right. So, I was super naive. I was just like, oh, I'll just post this on my Facebook wall because people don't know. Didn't know I was going to pretty much all my college friends, we're just not talking anymore. It's like every single friend I'm like, except April, who channel with me. I think she's the only friend that I have from college. There might be another person I'm looking up, but they all think I'm like nuts. So, I can laugh about it now. But all my college friends think I'm like a loser and a crackhead. And then I've lost some other people besides that. But, it's also really strengthening for your spirit, because you have to make a decision whether you are going to search for the truth and become a stronger, better person, or just, eat the steak, take a blue pill for a steak and go back to sleep. And there's some people that do that because they can't take the social pressure too of being laughed at or mocked or being like shunned. So, and the elites know this, because then that's why they, created society the way that it's social conditioned people the way that they are now, because a lot of the work they don't even have to do. They have other people that do it for them, Pabon. Victor Pabon. Victor Pabon. I think I said it right. I hope it. I was like, it's a B. I think I messed her name up though. Thank you, Lau. If I do watch, do you have the guy that asks you? I don't know. I don't know what happened to the twerk all of the time. The last video I made, I got a lot of, or last two videos, I got a lot of comments. So I try and skim them and read them as I can, but I don't know. He might still be on there. No, I said I'm doing my degree in computer science, and my friends and I are alike super geeks. Yeah, the tech industry though, they're so like, stereotypically speaking, of course, they're so like liberal though, aren't they? Or leftist. I would even say leftist. Right, they are correct. Yes, alt-right and white nationalists are correct. Yeah, I know. The alt-right and the white nationalists, they are actually. I never thought I'd agree with it. Like I don't agree with everything David Duke said when he was on AJ's show. I was like, oh my God, like he knows about GMOs and vaccines. I never thought that I'd be in agreement with him and stuff. Tataria. No, Flower Girl. Tataria. That's right, sweet. Other people will come into your life. That ones that share hopes and dreams. It's hard. Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I'm starting to actually make friends in Austin too, because it was hard too, But you guys have to think about that. What do you want? Like I don't know if any of you guys watch Conservative Mexican. I'm gonna tell him this next time I talk to him too. But he does a lot of rants on politics. But he did a video where he was talking about he used to be overweight, and if you would look at him, you would never thought they had a video about being overweight. And I thought it was just such a good video. And I think people need to hear stories like that. And sometimes he'll talk about dieting and ketogenic diet and stuff that he's doing. But I think more people will want to hear that, because even sometimes I have to take a break with talking about a lot of this stuff because it gets depressing. And right now it's just emotional roller coaster because it seems like, we'll have a win and then we'll go down, we'll go up and we'll go down. And, the social conditioning is good. You never have to think. Let me see. Thank you. Is it Jace? Jas Jason? Or just Jason? Thank you. I didn't mean that you tugged yourself. Oh, I know what you mean. I know what you meant, Rujar. Yeah, but I was just trying to elaborate too. Like, I think that's okay too sometimes because you just need to vent. You need to get this stuff out, especially if you're in a place too where you don't have any. Now I have some people in like that are physically here in Austin that we're on the same page, but especially if you're in a place where you you're like the only person in like your whole city that has this train of thought and you can't make any friends. Like when I was living in Taiwan, I prayed for my two friends that I found eventually that I can talk to some stuff about, look at this stuff about. I was so kind of lonely in a little sense, like I didn't have any friends, and I would try and talk to some of these people, and they just thought I was weird. Like there's one guy from Wales, and I had autoimmune issues, but I never got like colds and stuff. And he's talking to me as I'm sniffling, as he's sniffling and blowing his nose because he was sick, and he was like, "You never get sick. Why is that?" And I told him, I was like, I just don't eat a lot of junk food. I lay off sugar. I do green smoothies. And he just thought I was weird for saying just that. And he was like, whatever. I'm like, okay, well, I mean, have fun with your cold. Bonafide 1970. If these people choose. Yeah, it is. It's so corny to hear that, and especially because it hurts, but it's very true. If these people don't choose, so Bonafide 1970, I'm sorry to hear that you've lost friends due to your point of view. However, if these people chose to disassociate themselves from you, then they weren't your real friends after all. It's true. And I think the older you get, you'll still have friends and people that you've met along the way, but you'll value more real friendships. I think when you're younger, people have a lot of acquaintances, and as you get older, you realize who your real friends are, especially if you're taking certain life paths. I know, right? The liberals think if you agree with David, I know according to the leftist liberals, I'm a white supremacist because I said that I agree with David Duke on some things. Yeah. I want to move. Were you on Austin? It would be beneficial for me. Laughing Jester says he wants to move to Austin to pursue animation. I lifted a guy like a month ago, and he was an animator. He was saying that Austin is actually a good place to animate. So maybe like if you're gonna go to come here to learn to animate, then maybe you can get your training here, but you probably definitely have to maybe become mobile or move somewhere else. But at least with the thing that's good about animation, depending on the type of animation you're going to do, it's not expensive like making a movie, like I think the only thing that you really would have to pay for is like advertisement or maybe methods of getting your work out there and being seen. But if you have computer software, if you know how to draw, like you can make, maybe I might have to play for music or soundtrack or something. But yeah, I mean, I've heard Austin is really good. They have a really good animation scene here. I don't know personally. Laughing Jester. Have you checked out the channels The Flippist and Andymation and Animation by Steve Cutts? Those are all like animators. You probably know them, but I like those. When I'm trying to get my mind off of other things and I watch other channels, I came across their channels, and they're pretty cool. Yeah, Zach Hing just made a video on male feminists. He's so wise beyond his years. He's astonishing. Yeah, I probably will do that one. I've been thinking about doing that, actually. Thanks for the suggestion. Yeah. And if you're interested in that, there's a lady named Karen Strawn of Girl Writes What, and she has a channel. She doesn't seem as active as she was in the past, but she has a really interesting video or cool video called "Look Out, It's a Nice Guy, Destroy Him." I think it's something you can probably, if you type that in, you'll probably get. She's this white lady with like short boy cut hair, and she's really smart. Even though sometimes I think I'm like, does she hate women? But she's really thorough in her research and has really just intriguing, heartfelt, profound insight on that too. And she basically talks about that stuff as well. So I said, let me eat cake. I know, I miss cake. I love cake. I went before. Oh yeah, I saw that dude. I saw that old guy. That he's a billionaire too. It's funny, the impeached Trump ad. Yeah, Alex M gets asked God to make Virginia red again, and the next day. You asked God. Is that Virginia? Is that where they have the satanic statue? Or is it South Carolina? I forgot. I have to look it up. Virginia. Didn't they have the statue of Satan in one of your Capitol buildings? Europa. Okay, I'm gonna look it up right now. Oh, you know what I can do? I can make a copy. Don't tell YouTube. Make a copy. And Europa what? And yeah, I mean, Austin is pretty bad. Oh, thank you, Tara. Thank you so much. Austin is pretty bad as far as lefties, but at least you kind of have like, it's like an island of lefties, and then outside it's a little bit more sane. But I still think, like the tech industry, you're gonna just have to deal with a lot of lefties. You're gonna have to be having to, hold your tongue a lot, and you're gonna have to, hold your tongue a lot. Let me see. Europa. Okay, I need a full name on this Europa because I'm typing it in and it's not I don't think the right one is coming up. So either you can, what you do? Do you guys want me to check stuff out right now? The website email it's having issues, and I just haven't had the time to call and figure out how to fix it. So if you want to send me stuff, send it to me through the Facebook. So can you send me the name of the movie? And I think a couple of people had some recommendations through the Facebook message. And if I don't get it right away, April checks that one. She'll let me know. I know. I don't know though, man. Texans are, one thing I love about Texas is the spirit. We still have a spirit here. I just think California has no like they've been drained of their spirits. I think that there's still hope in Texas. And even though like Beto almost won, he won because he cheated. Obviously, I think there's no way it should have been that close. So let me see. You can arm yourself in Austin. You sure can. I don't have a gun yet though, but I have a license to carry. I have learned a lot from Alex too. He's been spawning many things. Yeah. Hey, room. I know there's a statue of Athena in Tennessee. I don't think Athena is the Greek goddess though. There's a supposed to be a replica because my friend went to visit it, a replica of her house or something like that. But there's a I'll just look it up. I keep forgetting. I have the internet. I can just look it up. Hold on one second. Satan statue. Or it's a Baphomet statue. I said, oh, maybe I was way off. Was it Arkansas? Yeah, it was Arkansas. Arkansas. That's the one I was thinking about. It's in Arkansas. Why did I think it was Virginia? I was so wrong. I'm so sorry. It was Arkansas. Yeah. What is your take on free healthcare? I have a very radical view on the healthcare system because of this is long story short, because it could take me a long time to explain this, but I think the only healthcare that we need is trauma care, meaning car accidents, broken bones, gunshot wounds. As far as disease, I think a lot of the autoimmune diseases we have, it can all be managed through diet. We don't have to take vaccines. We don't have to eat all this GMO stuff. We can use cannabis and other cures to cure things. I think as far as right now, I only go to the doctor and God, it's been years. I don't know, at least a decade. I only go to the doctor if I have a physical trauma injury or an emergency. If there is something wrong with me, I need a machine or something to see inside me, like it's a CAT scan or something like that. And even that's kind of bad, but so I don't think free healthcare. I think it's BS just because they're not being honest about the real reasons why people get sick. And if we just relegated healthcare to trauma injury, then it wouldn't be so expensive, right? We wouldn't have people on all these medications that they need to buy and that have all these autoimmune diseases. And we don't, we're not riddled with disease because we figured out sanitation and we have, enough nutrition and, and we have space. We're not cramped up together. So, I mean, that's why people get sick with microbial diseases. Autoimmune diseases is caused by the vaccines and all the toxins and smart meters and all this other stuff that's messing with our DNA. I hope that answered your question. So, I mean, I don't think that, I just have a very radical view on that. I'm not excited about it because I don't think that, free healthcare is going to solve everything. We just need to get real honest about why people get sick. I know, Suburban. Outfitters, I realized I said that. I was like, I shouldn't have said that in public. But I have some weapons, I'll put it that way. I do have some weapons. I want a Glock. It seems like it's easier. No, lived in Los Angeles. Yes, same statue as George Washington. I applied for Floyd. I have weapons, I'll put it that way. Do you use cannabis? Yes, but I haven't in months. I had a license when I was when I lived in California, and I used some in Texas, but I think I might head on soon because I'm getting tired. But I use some in Texas. But honestly, I've been really working on my health, and I've been exercising. And when I exercise, I don't want to smoke cannabis as much. And I have a lot to do, and I do think that it's good, but it also, I can't do cannabis until I have all my work done. So there's some people that can smoke it and get work done and they're fine. I have to wait until everything's done. So I haven't really I haven't in a while. But yeah, it's great. But I mean, it can be abused just like anything else. But it's not like alcohol or crack or any of that stuff. I don't even know why it's, and it heals a lot of people. You know, glaucoma, cancer, epilepsy. New Orleans? Yeah, okay, I'm not surprised at New Orleans. But the one that I was thinking about was in Arkansas, so yeah, Californians. I mean, I'm in California. I'm a Californian technically, born and raised, but um I never really felt like I fit in. I was born and raised in LA, so Robert Hill, Cato all the way, Cato rocks. I have trouble with cheese. I have trouble with casein. I'm not lactose intolerant, but I think as a casein, I've tried all kinds of cheeses. Now I have read some things where people have said that they had allergies to cheese, but they did keto for a while, and it after a while it didn't bother them. But right now, I've been doing so well with cutting out dairy and gluten and nightshades that I'm going to keep that up for a while. But I would like to try keto. I've heard it's amazing, and you save a lot of money too. What do you think of Don Lemon on CNN? Oh, he's a joke. He's if you guys watch Jericho Green, he goes Don Lemon Donna Lamone. Yeah, poor guy. I don't know. I think those CNN reporters, they must be compromised because there's no way that they're that dumb, you know? Oh, thank you, Big Ear TV. Very true. There's the truth. I do think there is the truth, but then there's also people have their perspectives on what's important to them depending on their life experience. But then when you get down to the nitty gritty, there is the real truth, you know, and there is a real spiritual war. I do believe that. I do believe if we cured half of what they said did, it would be immortal and have X-ray vision. I would be immortal and have X-ray vision. I would be immortal. Yeah, it's funny. Health card is pretty much a Visa card. What are cancer treatments? Biggie Brown, what are cancer treatments? I would say you want to go down the cancer rabbit hole. There's a really good documentary. I'm always two things, three things you should check out. The Truth About Cancer, and you can all find them on YouTube. The Truth About Cancer, the longer episodes. So you might find some on YouTube, but then you might have to buy the rest of the episodes, but they're well worth it because it's valuable life-saving information. Chris Beat Cancer, CHRISBEAT Cancer. He has a YouTube page, and then the documentary Cancer is Serious Business. And there's probably other things that I forgot or haven't mentioned, but those are big things if you want to go down the cancer rabbit hole. Now, cancer, from my research and from my experience, there are different causes of cancer. There are different reasons why people get cancer, and there are different ways to cure cancer. But the main thing why people die from cancer is not because of the cancer itself, is usually from the chemotherapies. But the chemotherapy kills the cancer, but it also destroys your immune system with it. And usually without an immune system, you can't fight off other things. So you usually die from the treatments, the radiation. And what the thing I like about The Truth About Cancer, they talk about different kinds of cancer, why you can get cancer, different ways, different treatments. And they actually talk to doctors who have had huge success of curing cancer patients. And then each episode at the end, they have somebody that actually was diagnosed with cancer, and they took the natural route. And personally, I've known 5 people now that have taken the natural route and completely cured their cancer. And everybody else that I've known that has had cancer and they've done chemotherapy, they always die. And they'll always kill the cancer, right? They'll be like, oh, you're in remission, the cancer's gone. And everybody's like, yay. And then like a few months later, the cancer comes back stronger. And you're like, what? And then they die. And This is my experience. It happens every single person I know that have done chemo radiation. It always happens. Now, in the documentary, they actually have a thorough scientific explanation as to why it happens. But there's such a powerful, basically, long story short, there's more money in keeping people sick and not curing them. So this is why this information is hidden, and not to be a Debbie Downer, because honestly, I think at the end, on the other side, if you think about it, it's very empowering. But if you know anybody with cancer or AIDS, you're going to basically, or they are going to basically, you're sick, you know somebody that's sick, you're going to have to do the work and figure out what you need to do to get better. I really don't believe there's going to be a day where, there's a news conference and people say that they have a cure for all these things. Europa Votron 5. Well, I'll still watch it though and just see. I want to see it if I have time. It seems like it's long, but thank you, Laughing Jester. I'll watch stuff, and if I don't agree with it, I don't agree with it. Europa Votron. Let me see it. Voltron. Okay. Anyway, so I hope that answers your cancertutor.com. Really? Chemo is a money drainer. Plus, oncologists get a kickback from the chemotherapy that they describe. Oh, and check this out. There was a guy, you can just probably Google this and look it up. He was a doctor, an oncologist that actually was misdiagnosing patients with cancer and giving them chemotherapy, and they would die from the chemotherapy. It's not funny, but it's like just crazy. They would die from the chemotherapy. He actually got he's serving time in jail now. So I only eat organic milk and organic eggs. I'm still allergic to milk. I've been doing like nut milks. I can do eggs. I'm so happy. I can do nuts. I can do eggs. I've always been allergic to dairy. I can do I do coconut bliss ice cream, but it has so much sugar in it. But that's the best ice cream ever. And I would like to learn how to make my ice cream. Yeah. ANE 127. 97% of people die within 5 years of chemo. So Crispy Cancer, he talked about this. He basically says everybody gets 5 years. 5 years. Because they know that, yeah, basically what you said, that the chemo is going to kill them in 5 years. Or I don't even think that they connect that the chemo kills them, but they were just like, oh, it's going to kill, you're going to die in 5 years. Okay. Yes, naturopathic doctors cure bees. They're replacing the medical doctors. Very true. And it's sad. I actually, to some degree, I have sympathy for a lot of allopathic doctors, because you're basically dedicating your life to do this, and they're basically doing the opposite of what they've been trained to do, which is hurt people and not help them. And it must be devastating, but it's, all goes back to the medical schools, and they're funded by the pharmaceutical industry, and it goes back to the Rockefellers and the Carnegies and the Flexner Report, and them taking over all of the medical industry and, pushing it in that direction. But people are starting to figure it out. That's more like, 2 months to live and change your life, change your diet to organic fruits and vegetables. And I know 2 people that did it doing a raw foodist. The Crispy Cancer guy, he was a raw food vegan for 3 months. He's not one now, but see, like, it just depends on the type of cancer you have. They may not work for some people. That's more like of the Gerson therapy, where they believe that you flood your body with nutrients and you detox your body. So eating raw food does that. And it basically, you're giving your body to feel the fuel to beat the cancer, and you're detoxing it. And that's the science behind that. There's oxygen therapy. There's cannabis oils or smoking or whatever, depending on the cannabis. There's antineoplaston therapy, which cures brain cancer, kills the cancer without hurting the patient. That's with the Stanislav Brzezinski. So if you guys know anybody, or you just want to feel empowered, then you need to watch those documentaries. And one thing, this is kind of weird, maybe this might be some TMI, but I'll let you guys know this. A few months ago, no, this is last year, I found a lump in my breast, and I didn't freak out. It was huge. I didn't freak out because I knew that it wasn't cancerous, because in the documentary, they were talking about a tumor like that large would take it like the size. It was huge. It was like the size of like a golf ball. It was huge. And but basically I learned of the documentary that a tumor that big takes at least 10 years to develop. So if it was in a place that I was already used to, like, kind of seeing, and it just overnight, it was pretty much overnight. So I'm like, okay, my lymphatic system is there. I must have a clog. I must have a hormonal flare up or something. And that's what it was. But because of that, I didn't like freak out, a lot of people freak out. A lot of people aren't taught about their body and how it works. Like the whole Angelina Jolie thing, where she like said she had a mastectomy to decrease her chances of cancer, but you're actually increasing your chance of cancer because you're cutting your lymphatic system. And that's the system that it's like your sewage system. It carries toxins out of your body. So certain little things, if you know things, you won't freak out. If people, this is what I think healthcare should be. Like, we really need to understand how our bodies work and about nutrition, and we're not taught about that. And once you know about that, you can basically keep yourself in good shape. As far as health, how long have you been dairy free? I've always been allergic to dairy as long as I can remember. I didn't really start making the effort to become fully dairy free though until I became an adult. So until like after college. I hope you encourage your family to only use naturopath. I do. My mom listens to me. My mom never gets sick though. She's like a superhero. I've seen her sick like twice in my life, and she's like, it's like 75. Or I don't think she's 75 yet, but she's pretty old. Anyway, my parents had me late, but she might kill me that I said her age, but whatever. I hope you encourage. Yeah, I think my mom she listens to me. I don't think she'll mind me saying this if it's gonna help people. She was dependent on laxatives, and I was like cut down on the white sugar and the rice and all the foods that bind you, and you need more fiber. You need to eat green smoothies. And I got her hooked on something that she likes. And she noticed a difference. But she's like, I can do green smoothies. I can get my greens that way. She'll mix it with berries and greens and have a smoothie. And, drink water. And she's seen a difference. So I know that's one of the things that she listens to me with that. And she likes kombucha. So that's good for probiotics. And I got her kombucha because she likes beer and it kind of tastes like beer. So, what's up, Patriots? Air Doctors leading cause. Doctors Air. Yes, Robert Hill. Did you see that? There's a documentary. Robert Hill, you know this. It's with Gary Null. If you're bringing this up, you probably know the documentary. Death by Medicine. There's a report that you can find online. They did a report. They did a documentary, and they basically found out, which is technically called iatrogenesis. Doctors are the third leading cause of death, and they mean by overprescribing medication, or people that are dying from properly prescribed medications, medical procedures, vaccine injuries, all these other things, and it adds up. Pharmaceutical drugs. Okay, bye Chicago. Much love. Keep. It will be. What? Watch your diet. I went vegan on everything but the meat. Yeah, I was a vegan I was a vegetarian for years, and I still don't eat that much. Yeah, most allopathic doctors they're pretty clueless. And that's why I said I have sympathy for them, because you're spending like, I don't know, a long time, 12 years, a decade or more, or at least a decade, or almost a decade in school, and you're really training to be a doctor from the time you're at least in junior high or high school, because you have to get good at SAT scores and getting to a good college. And yeah, I think MDs are really supposed to exist for our modern technology. They go hand in hand for modern technology, right? Because car accidents and gunshots and all the other futuristic things that we like, all the trauma that we have are related to those types of accidents. But I feel more. I do not like Austin. Cannabis oil, if eaten, can cure cancer. Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, they've been murdering the natural doctors. Yeah, I believe all cancers can be cured. Yeah, I don't have a. I do believe that. I know that sounds maybe like a bit uh what's the word I was going to say, not bombastic, but a bit maybe exaggerated. All cancers can be cured, but I do believe that. And mainly because I've seen those documentaries, I've talked to people, I've known people that have gone the alternative route. Even Crispy Cancer, I think he was like stage 4 colon cancer, and he was able to cure it. And then the Stanislav Brzezinski guy, he's cured many, many, many people with brain cancer. We just don't have an understanding of why cancer happens. And I don't know if you guys know about this, which is even crazier. This is probably 4 or 5 years ago, or maybe more, but there was this family called the Hirschberger family, and they're Amish, and their daughter got cancer, and they were doing chemo, and then they were like, we don't want to do chemo. We're going to do natural. We're going to do the natural route. And they start giving her natural medicine. She bounced back to health. She stopped her chemo. And because she was in the middle of her chemo, the court ordered them. She didn't finish her chemo. The court ordered them to put her back on the chemotherapy. Like, this is how brainwashed people were. And they're like, we have proof that she's doing better. She doesn't want to do chemo. They're like, no, this is child abuse. We're ordering you to go back on the chemo. And they fled. I think they had a lawyer fighting for them, but they fled to Canada. Check out Hirschberger and Cancer Amish people. It's a really interesting story. But yeah, they're like, that's how crazy these people are. Becky Brown, I can't recommend anything because I'm a doctor, but I have heard of somebody's success with like cannabis oil, But as I said, look at those documentaries. Look at that. You're gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to do some. You're gonna have to do some investigation on your own too. Like, why did they get oral cancer? Were they smoking too much? What were they eating that gave them cancer? Was it the chemicals in the cigarettes that gave them oral cancer or tongue cancer? Did they eat something? Did they, then you kind of figure out maybe why you have cancer, and then figure out like what, or just where it is, or what part. So like Crispy Cancer, I can't think of his last name, but Chris from Crispy Cancer. He had colon cancer, and he was talking about, wow, I did eat a lot of junk food, and he was one of these people that was really thin and could eat a lot of junk food and never gain weight. So he was like, yeah, man, I was eating like Taco Bell and like McDonald's and Pizza Hut and everything. So now his colon is blocked. So he probably got colon cancer. I mean, and I think there's a genetic component, but it just depends on, what you're sensitive to. So because he knew what he was putting in his body was carcinogenic, Nitrates is what they use to give mice cancer, so they inject into mice to study cancer in lab rats. So if they're injecting that, they know that it's for 100% sure it's going to give rats cancer, but you're eating bacon and processed meats that are made with nitrates. Maybe if you eat enough of it, it's probably going to give you cancer. So you just have to think about just common sense things like that, So what he did is he was raw vegan for 90 days. He was stage 4 colon cancer, cured his cancer in 90 days. And that's what started his blog and stuff. And he speaks, and he's fascinating person. And he's really funny too. So if you want to learn about cancer and laugh at the same time, he's a really good one. Gary Null, yes, I know Gary. Gary Null's the god of natural documentaries. Yes, he's amazing. I would love to meet him. Iatrogenic. Okay. Yes, miracle cells. Yeah, Henrietta Lacks. Yeah, they use some of her cells. They call them HeLa cells. They're in vaccines. They use her cancer cells, Henrietta Lacks. And Ms. Gross. And her family never got compensated for it. She never got compensated. Really? I've heard that. Red meat. I know. Okay. So, I remember that. The processed red meat. That's right. Processed meat is carcinogenic. But is red meat as carcinogenic if it's not processed? Anybody? I remember, yes. Processed meats carcinogenic. Probably one of the reasons is they use nitrates to, and there's stuff, a lot of these chemicals. Our body wasn't meant to eat like this. We're living in a way. I think we could still have the luxury that we have, but we're the people at the top want to keep us dependent, and to have the life that we would really like to have with free energy and health would involve us not being dependent on these assholes that control everything. But I love bacon. Get bacon with no nitrates. Really good meat company that makes good meats. Applegate Farms is really good. I don't think they make bacon though. I just get bacon with no nitrates and make sure. But I haven't had bacon in a while. I'm trying to stop the red meat too. Our eggs are carcinogenic? I've never heard that before. But I think if you're allergic to eggs, if you're allergic to certain things, if it causes inflammation, then it can be carcinogenic, because if stuff causes inflammation in your body, then it could cause other triggers. Bacon was after Bernays Magic. Oh, you're right. No, I think it'd be funny suburban homestead, but you're right. Bacon and eggs. He was the one. Everett Bernays was the one that created the market for bacon and eggs for breakfast. Yeah, that's right. Yes, the Rife machine. That's another. Yes. Well, I mean, like I said, there are many different cures for cancers, just as there are many different causes. So that's one of the cures. The Rife machine, oxygen therapy, Gerson therapy. That's like the raw food and coffee enemas. Like all the other stuff that I said. Yeah, I'll marry you. Whatever. Why not? Sugar, alcohol, I'm bad for cancer. Yeah. Century of Self. I've seen that. I saw it a while ago. I would like to see it again. That's the Ever Bernays documentary. I know. You know what, Eric and Nimmer, bacon makes everything taste better. I lost weight. I didn't gain weight. I'm not trying to lose weight. Coconut bacon. I'm gonna try. I bought some from the store and it was really expensive, and I think I can make this myself. So you get like liquid smoke and like paprika and maple syrup and coconut flakes and toast them, and it tastes. The store bought version helped my craving for bacon. Qigong, Chinese cooking. Do you mean qigong like for cancer? Yeah, whatever that means in Russian. Hypernormalization. I think I'm gonna go in like 5 minutes. So for real, because I'm getting tired. I'm always like, I'm just gonna stay for like an hour, and then I'm like on for 2 hours. Wait, you're waiting for Blexit to sue Candace Owens. Oh, that's right. She's supposed to be getting sued. I forgot about that. I don't even watch her anymore. I don't care about her. Okay, yeah, qigong energy too. That is, I mean, like I said, what causes the cancer? So food, diet, energy, stress. Stress creates chemicals in your body that are carcinogenic and lead to other health problems. Good book cures prescription for. Yeah. So if you're stressed, if your cancer is caused by stress or something, or either, even with like certain blockages in like, acupuncture, they believe you get your energy flowing, your qi, Chinese medicine. It's good for curing stuff. I know, right? And the beat goes on. Agreement to sell your soul. I'm a cute sellout. Okay. You're a sellout, but I don't know. Is that a compliment or an insult? All right, guys. I said 3 more minutes. Anything else? Thanks for joining me tonight. What if I stream for 8 hours? Would y'all stay with me? It says I can live stream for up to 8 hours. I don't think I'd make it. I'm totally kidding, but not tonight. Look it up. Well, yeah, I mean, look it up. Well, look it up because you guys have to, like, you can't, I can just be, what if I'm just a crazy person that's just talking, right? You guys have to know, you have to verify stuff for yourself. Vitamin C concentrated IVs is good for cancer too. Somebody just bought Fukushima. Yeah. But there's a guy that is, he's actually having success curing and maybe not necessarily curing all the way, maybe some are cured, but healing some of the girls that have been victims of the Gardasil vaccine in Japan by using high dose vitamin C IVs. And he also has success with people that had radiation from Fukushima by doing the same. So vitamin C too. I have had a cancer treatment. Oh wow. And the beat goes on. Would you ever do chemo again or cancer treatment again? It's not even hard to. Blood cell. Well, my friend, I don't know, my friend is studying Qigong too, and she was talking about like the energy. I don't know. But it's good for also oxygenation of blood cells and muscles. High dose. Yeah, yeah. Okay, 1 more minute. Any more questions or comments? Yeah, it's good. It is. I've heard it's good for prevention of illness. Qigong, coconut whip topping is awesome. Do you make it, Flower Girl, or do you buy the Oso coconut? I know. So, and then as soon as you said that, it's good charge on. He's like, stop all the sugar too. I'm like, yeah, I know. The coconut whip topping from the store is awesome, but but it has a lot of sugar. That's the thing about vegans. A lot of vegans, they eat a shit ton of sugar. They eat so much sugar. It's so bad. Yeah, and I don't do the soy really. Every once in a while. I've heard that the baking soda is good for cancer too. I haven't heard. I don't know anybody personally, but I've heard of that. When's the next live stream? If I have time tomorrow night, I'll do one tomorrow before I go to bed because I think I'm gonna be really busy and maybe getting off. Who is black? Your mom or dad? My if people see I'm mulatto, I'm not technically mulatto. Both of my parents are black. My mom's darker than me. My dad is my complexion. My dad's mom was half white, so maybe that's why I'm so light. So there you go. But yeah, a lot of people think I'm mixed. I mean, I guess you can still, most people are mixed, but I think it's a different experience. It's a different experience when you have when you have two parents that are two different races. So I don't really say that I'm mixed, but my dad, yeah, and my family's mixed because they all married different. Like my grandmother was mixed. My grandmother was mixed, but they all married different people. Some married white people, some married other mixed people, some married black people, some married Asian people. So anyway, all right. I think I'm going to. Oh, you're happy too. No, I'm more. It's like the other way, or 3/4 black. Yeah, I guess kind of. I don't know, because then we have my mom's side, but anyway, it doesn't matter. We're all mixed up. All right, guys. Mwah. I'm gonna end this live stream. All right. Oh, peace to you. Love you guys. I'll talk to you later. Bye bye.